Well, today we had the first appearance of Minnesota Guardian Anthony Michael Wicklace, where he is facing 2 felony charges and 3 gross misdemeanour charges relating to a crash where he was the driver on the 20th of August 2022. The charges are criminal vehicular operation, substantial bodily harm - gross negligence, which has a maximum sentence of 5 years inside and or $10,000 fine, and criminal vehicular operation, bodily harm, gross negligence, which has a maximum of 1 year inside and 3,000 fine, or both. Well, today's hearing was a nothing burger, really. Just reset for the next appearance. However, an observer did let the judge know that there was a warrant for his arrest in Ramsey County in connection with his probation violation. I don't think I've gone through the accident details, so let's read the statement of probable cause. On August 20, 2022, at approximately 1:38 a.m, officers were dispatched to the intersection of First Avenue and Town Line Road in Hibbins, Minnesota, St. Louis County, on a report of a one-vehicle accident. Officers arrived on the scene and observed a 2014 Ford Explorer that had struck a utility pole at the intersection. From the position of the vehicle and skid marks on the road, it appeared the vehicle had been travelling southbound on First Avenue towards the T intersection with Town Line Road. There was a stop sign requiring a driver approaching southbound on First Avenue to stop before entering the intersection. Officers discovered there had been 6 occupants. The driver was identified as Anthony Michael Wicklace, hereafter defendant. The other passengers were ZK, ZL, SS, JO, and EB. All passengers reported injuries as a result of the accident. Officers spoke with the defendant and other passengers. Defendant acknowledged driving the vehicle. He claimed he was unfamiliar with the area and was unaware of the stop sign at the intersection. He stated he was driving southbound on First Avenue before the accident occurred. He initially claimed he was only driving 5 miles per hour over the 45 mile per hour speed limit. However, when officers confronted him with evidence he was going faster, defendant indicated he was unsure of how fast he was going. 3 of the passengers indicated they estimated the defendant was driving 80 to 90 miles per hour going into the intersection. One of the passengers indicated she was able to see the stop sign clearly, and the passengers warned defendant, but he continued to drive at a high speed. The Minnesota State Patrol completed an accident reconstruction and obtained data from the vehicle's computer. Based on the observation of evidence on the scene, Trooper Cookser, a certified crash reconstruction and forensic mapping specialist and crash data retrieval specialist, calculated the minimum speed the vehicle needed to be travelling to produce the visible evidence on the scene. These calculations showed that the minimum speed the vehicle was travelling at the time the visible tyre marks began, 65 to 70 miles per hour. The speed limit on the stretch of First Avenue is 45 miles per hour. Trooper Cookser also noted the evidence indicated that no mechanical issues, weather or environmental issues, or visible obstructions contributed to the collision. Further, the airbag control module was removed from defendant's vehicle. This device records various data from the vehicle prior to the deployment of the airbags. The data from the device showed that 5 seconds prior to the accident, defendant was travelling 79 miles per hour, 34 miles per hour over the speed limit. The brakes were applied from 4 through 3.5 seconds before the collision, which resulted in a speed of 78 miles per hour. At 3 seconds before the collision, the accelerator was lightly engaged, maintaining a speed of 78 miles per hour. At 2.5 seconds before the collision, the brakes were engaged and remained engaged throughout the collision. This braking reduced the speed of the vehicle to 73 miles per hour at 2.5 seconds before the collision, 66 miles per hour at 2 seconds, 53 miles per hour at 1.5 seconds, 37 miles per hour at 1 second, 35 miles per hour at 0.5 seconds, and 33 miles per hour at the time of collision. The device also indicated an abrupt turn of the steering wheel, which combined with the tyre track showed the vehicle moved into another lane before entering the ditch and striking the utility pole. This evidence allowed Trooper Cookser to conclude that the crash was caused by defendant operating the vehicle at least 20 miles per hour over the speed limit when approaching the intersection. This speed caused defendant to run the stop sign at the intersection, enter the ditch at a high speed and strike a utility pole in a head-on collision. Follow up with the passengers of the vehicle showed they suffered the following injuries. SS suffered major injuries including a dislocated left wrist, a broken left arm and potentially punctured lung. JO suffered major injuries including a laceration to her leg which required 30 stitches, a puncture to her upper lip requiring 2 stitches and believed concussion which indicated causes her temporary blindness each morning. ZK suffered minor injuries including a sore head. ZL suffered minor injuries including a laceration above his right eye. EB suffered minor injuries including a bloody nose. There's the fact sheet for Minnesota Guardian, £220. And coming up, and I'll end the video with this, is the statute and offence grid, which you can read for your pleasure, but there's all the charges, etc. Thanks for watching.